Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Final Whistle here on bye week. But man, that don't mean we're not going to bring the heat as we always do. And look, don't adjust your screens. We're another Avenger down, but that don't mean it ain't going to be as fire as always because I got my enforcers with me, both of them. And when you're coming with just two enforcers, you never know what's going to become. It's kind of almost like Tombstone, just fire and brimstone. But man, again, wanted to say hello to the chat. Welcome in. Thank you. You've already been hopping. Latoya, Keith, Justin Walker in the house tonight. What's up? Man, Roll Tide Roll. Big win in Columbia this weekend, and we're going to talk about it here on the Final Whistle tonight. My man Lou's already sipping on something good, ready for this bye week. But man, look, I'm just getting cart before the horse. Let's introduce this fine cast of few Avengers I got with me. Enforcer number one, who's usually under me. I'm not used to him being I'm used to my man Dan being right next to me with his dance moves. But now I've got Lou to keep me in check right next to me tonight. How you doing, Lou?
I'm happy. You know what? I'm gonna smile tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good week. It's a bye week. We're coming off a win, but we got a bunch to talk about tonight. We ain't gonna let nobody go. You already know how this gets down. Right. Dan's not here, so we might get a little bit looser tonight.
Uh-oh.
Might have a little bit more unadulterated fun now that we ain't got the deacon in the building.
Shoot, man. And my new role, I'm the deacon now, so you better watch out. Hey, man, that might have to hit the second page of his deacon notes from the game this week with Dan out. How you doing this week, sir?
Man, I'm just glad Cocktober is over. I don't know if I could take another one of them in a row, but we're going into my least favorite opponent, and that's bye week, and I'll break down why soon. But happy for the win, man. We're rolling.
Nice, absolutely. Look, a win's a win at this point, setting up for the second half of the final stretch quite nicely. I'm Petty. I'm your conductor of this ship tonight. But if you're in that chat, hit that like and subscribe. We do appreciate our subscriber numbers going up and hitting that special number, but that's no time to stop. Keep them coming. So hit that like and subscribe, get in there. And before we get going, let's give love to the people that keep the lights on here at the Final Whistle, and that is Tidal Towel. There's a wave rising in the South, and it's not the ocean. It's the Tidal Towel, the ultimate symbol of Bama power, brought to you by WhitwillSports.com. Whether you're in Bryant-Denny or repping from your living room, the Tidal Towel brings the heat. Crimson bold, unapologetically Alabama. And right now, you can wave yours for less. Use the promo code WHISTLE at the checkout and get 20% off at WhitwillSports.com today. Join the wave the power. Get your Tidal Towel today at WhitwillSports.com. No better time than the off week, so you can have it ready when those corn dogs smelling Bayou Bengals come up from Baton Rouge, or more affectionately known as Red Stick, in 2 weeks. With that said, man, we have got a jam-packed show tonight. Elephant in the room is, I think, the obvious. Can Bama, is it what the numbers say they are, or can we establish a run game here in the final stretch of the season? Also, we're going to give a final battle report from Columbia and break down the South Carolina game. Then we're going to get into bye week concerns. What do we need to get fixed before the broken down Tigers without their coach comes to town? And then we're going to talk, better mistakes. And is it time for these replacements to even get more time to shine as the season goes on? I know these two guys with me will never be short of opinions on these topics as hand. So let's get it going. Let's talk that elephant in the room. The running game is still, what did we rush for the other night? 72 yards? Something crazy. Is it needed for Ty to get we lost Lou. Is it needed for Ty to be, how much can Ty you put on Ty's shoulders before, it catches up to him? How important is it to get this run game going? And can Bama get this run game going? Lou just left us and he's right back. So he's right back in time to answer this question.
Can Alabama establish the run? We're averaging about 118 yards a game. 3.6 yards per carry on the ground. Jam Miller's got 80 carries for 308 yards. Kevin Riley is second on the team with 47 carries for 181. That's good for 3.9 yards per carry. Now, I mentioned a lot of threes. The last time Alabama made a successful national championship run, we were averaging 186 yards on the ground, and that's 5 yards per carry. So I have faith that Alabama is going to not only establish the run, but dominate in the run game. I think that us rotating as many players as we have is actually going to pay it forward to the end of the season, because no one is going to have film on anything that we've done successfully. So it's actually going to work in our favor that we've actually thrown so many bodies out there with our running back room and our offensive line. So nobody actually has any film on us actually doing anything successful. And once coaches get into this part in the season, they're depending on film to be able to defend somebody. When you look at Alabama's running back room, we have so many different running backs with so many different abilities that haven't been highlighted yet because we haven't used them yet. We haven't had to use them. And I think that the fact that Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer are fully bought into their scheme and what they're wanting to do, and that they don't show any signs of, panic. They're really happy with everyone's at. And as our players get healthier, I think that Alabama will absolutely establish the run going forward.
Dan, do you agree, or is it what it is? Is it what the numbers say, or do you see this run game catching more fire behind Hill and this running this line?
No, I don't think they can. Not in a traditional sense of it that we as Bama fans think of a run game. I'm more of a fan of just being able to keep the defense honest, being able to run just well enough. So we do need to improve, but I don't think we're going to see a dominant tear a team up running game like we've seen in the past. We just need to allow them, like I said, keep them honest. I've said this in the past this year, not allow them to key so much on the pass game. It'll allow the play action stuff to open up a little bit more. We have seen Grubb set up some different wrinkles with Bernard running a sweep on the first play in the South Carolina game. We've seen Simpson do some things with his legs. He committed to it, made some crucial runs at some crucial times. And those worked pretty well. So I think Grubb might try and jumpstart the running game through other avenues, I guess you would say, to help keep the offense balanced, because I know they'd like that. But truthfully, I don't think play calling alone will be enough. When you look at Alabama's offensive line and how our linemen have graded in run blocking, it's not been great. I think Caden Proctor was the highest rated, and he was knocking on the door of an 80 grade, and it just gets worse from there. There's room for improvement always. That's what weeks like this are supposed to be used for, but you're not going to turn that around overnight. So we may have to scheme up and do some different things. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say this, and I don't want nobody to think I'm hating on Jam Miller. I respect him as a player, but I don't think he has the explosiveness through the tackles that we need on a consistent basis from an every down back either. Normally, the first group of tacklers he meets is where his carry is going to stop. He don't really shimmy into daylight. He's not going to put a lot of pizzazz on it and make a lot of extra out of it. And that's not hating on him. He's a certain type of back. And that's not putting the inadequacies of the O-line directly on him. But once you get past your blockers, if you get into that extra space, it's on you to make some moves. So going forward, I'd like to see us continue to use short timing routes and get our athletic receivers in space and use it like the run game, like we have done. Continue to draw up wrinkles for Bernard and Simpson, maybe even Ryan Williams, kind of make him a gadget player, build his confidence up, because he's kind of been on teeter-tottering. performance-wise. It'll keep a defense off balance. We don't do a good enough job blocking to hammer the ball in between the tackles, so we're going to have to get to the outside more. But I will say, if Daniel Hill continues to improve in his pass blocking game, I think he's got a chance to be the ball carrier. What he was doing as far as catching the ball was a big difference maker against South Carolina. So he's a little bit more trouble for guys outside the front seven to try to bring down. So I think going forward, you're going to see a lot of Daniel Hill. But in a traditional sense, no, I don't think our run game is going to be what we might want it to be.
Look, and I'm sorry, man. I'm looking at the kid's legs. He's got the traditional, like, cat, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Mark Ingram, like the balance, the bowling ball legs that just seem to stay upright and find their footing when someone's tripping him. He's still going. It's what you said, though. That's, everybody always asks, why is this running back not running back playing? I'm the first one to preach blocking in the black. But your blocking ability, good God, we got to get that kid blocking because he has the best natural running ability of anybody in that backfield. And he looks. He passes the test. There's things he does once he gets in the open field that the other guys I haven't seen from. With that said, guys, status quo stays the same. Nothing changes. This running game, it is what it is. It is what the numbers say. Is that enough for this team to win a title on Ty's shoulders and what they do bring? Jeremy Bernard being the second leading rusher on the team, or is it enough?
Winning teams find a way to win at the end of the day. You don't have to be a dominant run team to win a championship. It helps. You can control the game a lot better running the ball. You can shorten up third down situations. There's a lot you can do running the ball, obviously, but can you win predominantly throwing the ball, riding the quarterback, and using a talented offensive coordinator to scheme things up? Absolutely.
I think that some people don't understand football because a lot of people live in what they knew of a game of football. Football is an ever-evolving sport.
Absolutely.
Sports evolve. Sports get different. Rules change. You can't do things the same way. So that's why I answered it the way I did, because everybody wants this dominant Eddie Lacy, Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry style of running back. Got news for you. That's not happening anymore. They're not allowing that in football. I'm going to say this to Alabama fans, and I want you to hear me when I say this. Alabama changed football. We influenced football so much that they had to change rules to try to stop us, to try to stop our dominance. Do you understand that? So when you're asking for this dominant run game that everyone thinks we should have, we're not going to have it because we had it to the most elite level that they had to change the narrative. Okay? So if the narrative was changed, the train is going to change, but the main thing still stays the main thing. Alabama's going to be great. So, okay, you take away our ability to absolutely pound you to death in the running game, we'll find another way to beat you, because that's what greatness is. Greatness is finding a way to be successful when all other means are taken away from you. They tried to neutralize Bama. It ain't happening. They're starting to figure out that, okay, we can stop Alabama's run game, but they suck at running. That's how they built the mountain. And yet we beat 4 straight ranked teams without being able to run the ball. So I really don't understand this narrative of our fan base being overly concerned with us not being able to run the ball. We just did something that hasn't ever been done in the SEC history. So this whole narrative that we need to have a dominant run game. No one has a dominant run game. You know who has a dominant run game? Shitty offensive teams that play no opponents, that play cupcake schedules.
Army, Navy. They run. And Keith, that other teams can run, but that's I think the point Lou's making is you don't have to anymore. And Lou, you basically just called out this generation's the forward pass is dumb. Run the ball. Like when everybody ran the wishbone and the wing tee, and then teams started throwing the ball. Like, yeah, football changes constantly, and you don't have to,
And all I did was just
great rant.
All I did was quote the GOAT. The game changed.
Yeah,
greatness is going to change to continue to be great, and that's all Alabama's doing. Because if our run game was life and death, we don't survive that gauntlet that we just went through. Because we aren't a dominant run game team, and guess what? We just beat 4 ranked teams in 4 straight weeks. That hasn't been done in a very long time. It hasn't been done in SEC history in a long time. So,
and more to your point, it's showing Lou. It's showing a team that uses and Grubb and DeBoer that uses the pieces they have. Trust me, if Jahmyr Gibbs is in that locker room, they're using Jahmyr Gibbs, but there's not a Jahmyr Gibbs in that locker room right now.
But even still him. If you remember Jahmyr Gibbs, he was also our leading receiver that year.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're going to use him what's best. But even when they were in Washington, they had guys that could run the ball. They ran the ball.
But they
used what they got. Oh, it changes. No, I love it, man.
You can watch Alabama dominate time possession and not be able to run the ball what we would call dominantly. That's the beauty of it. We use the pass like the run a lot of times.
Yeah, and that should scare people. That should scare people, because all we have to do is figure out that, oh shit, we got the biggest, strongest, fastest sons of bitches in college football. Let's just make them mad and run the football. If we get a run game, people do not understand what that's going to mean.
Mm-hmm.
We dominate time of possession through the air. If you can dominate time of possession through the air and on the ground, it's dick and fucking donuts.
And I'll say this and this hit me Saturday. For the sector of the Bama fan base that still has a man crush on the Kiffin Sarkisian offenses and the way that was run, you're getting it now. Like you've got it. Like what you're seeing now is it that 2-point play call. I watched that and I'm like, for the people who love what Kiffin does, and when they see Kiffin call one of these plays, like he's a genius, that's just brilliant. Like that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting right now with Grubb. The dude is absolutely brilliant. And I love where you went with that rant, Lou, because I think he's getting the best of, and you're seeing.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
You just get warmed up.
Just get warmed up, boys. This is a 1 script sheet tonight, so I got some heat for y'all.
Why you got some heat? Let's put some final heat on that game in South Carolina, which I don't know, man. I've got a different take on this thing. Championship teams win some ugly games sometimes. You don't always have your fastball. I'm gonna give the pitcher analogy. Sometimes Randy didn't have the fastball. He had to rely on the slider, or it just didn't work. And you had to eke through 6 innings and just work a game out. And then in the 9th, you still got to bring your closer in and finish the damn thing off. That's what I said this earlier tonight, and Marvin, I get the player aspect. The 92 team won some ugly games against the Southern Misses of the world. Saban's teams went up to Arkansas favored by 17-21, won by 1 point. Like these games happen throughout the season, but the fact is you got the win. Like you didn't learn a lesson in a loss. And again, I saw that game as wasn't the A game, but it was a W game. So Lou, Columbia Battle Report. I'll let you go. And then I know my man Van down there's got his list. Okay, Van, you start with your list and then let Lou just fire brimstone.
Van's going to have the stage because Van was texting me during the game, and I want Van to go absolutely damn. Thank you, ma'am. You're about to lay some info on y'all. So I give the floor to my fellow Sam brother.
Well, I do these notes as I'm watching, so it's not an overall perspective until the end. A lot of it's a panic, pissed off mood, depending on what I'm seeing at the time, because I'm a normal fan like everybody else. I'm not all sunshines and rainbows and unicorn farts. So here we go. First quarter, and our offense is flatter than the map of the earth that the Texaco gas station clerk turned pseudoscientist showed being trustful. The defense looks better than the offense. I've fallen into the upside down. Luckily, the quarterback is off his throws, and the running game is struggling, or we would notice that we really can't block either. Oh, look, we couldn't wrap up the quarterback on a key third down play. In further news, ocean water is salty, and so am I. Bama is playing like, South Carolina. And now the defense has stopped playing too. By the grace of God, Sellers juked half the defense, ran over the rest, and scored, but it got called back. Thank you, Jesus. I should have saved some of those cigars I smoked last week. My nerves are shot, and it ain't even halftime. On a bright note, I am going to say this. Kane Womack's defense will look terrible between the 20s, but they got tariffs on the end zone. We've only allowed one team to score more than 25 points. All right, fast forward. The crispy package is cute and all, but how about just hand the damn ball to Daniel Hill on second and goal? Damn, it was fun at first, but we flew too close to the sun. Mr. Automatic, Josh Cuevas. He's amazing, man. Most underrated player on this team. All right. I'm going to give some dap to Jordan Jefferson. Jefferson's going to end up being my player of the game before this is over. A sack, a tackle for a loss, and most importantly, holding Jones upright so he couldn't fall down on the interception return for the touchdown. It's a key play. There ain't no stat for that, but we all saw it. I heard Formby is dressing up as a ghost for Halloween. He might as well. He disappears during games already. Yonze Pierre isn't perfect, but he's the best pass rusher we've had under Womack. All right, so we're just going to let them come right out in the second half and score, huh? I need to repent at this point. I've cussed enough to send 3 sailors to hell. Let's see. Why is our game plan to throw it deep every 3 plays? Did we forget how we got this far? Am I being punished? Ty has had a rough game, but I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater by any stretch because up until the fourth quarter, Grubb was calling some questionable stuff. The bye week can't get here soon enough. I'm going to add a priest and a cardiologist to my friends group just in case. Shane Bieber, and I've seen this question come up earlier, but I'll go ahead and address it now. He was in a lose-lose situation. A lot of people will question the call, especially if you've ever watched Bama this year and know that our kicker's boned water. But he was in a bad spot. He had 0 timeouts. So I sort of kind of get it because we could have milked that clock down to 1-2 seconds, kicked the field goal, and it's over. They don't even get an opportunity. It's been called into question a lot this week. And there's no wrong answers because, our kicker's ass sometimes. And it may have been better off to let us try to kick it. But he's been pretty good inside 40. So I would have took my chances there as well. Jeremy Bernard is the best player in college football. I don't care what anyone tells me. This guy makes it happen. Key third downs, key touchdowns. He's also our most dynamic runner too. His stats won't blow anyone away, and he's probably not going to be in a Heisman race, but holy shit, is he the MVP of this team. A coach would kill for 22 guys with his heart and determination. It's rarefied air in today's game of NIL holdovers and guys making business decisions. Bernard is a throwback. Let's see. Thank God we won because if I have to hear Sandstorm one more time without being high and at a rave, I'm going to snap. I've never seen people so excited to lose. They scooted all the way down to the fence to get a good look at what good coaching in football looks like. So shout out to South Carolina fans out there. Shout out to Red Morgan, by the way. He is becoming a force at the Husky position. Just a thing I kind of noticed earlier in the year, and we got to see it pay off. Those short kickoffs and squids we were doing against Louisiana Monroe really paid dividends at the end of this one. Getting real game situational practice early on was huge, just like the building of depth on our defensive line paid off throughout the season too. This coaching staff knows what they're doing. Here's a little negative side. I don't like Joe Tessitore and Jesse Palmer, especially together. Jesse Palmer spends 5 minutes over explaining a 2-yard run, and Joe is too easily excitable. Jesse is a smug bastard who clearly has a checklist of sayings and antecedents that he thinks he has to work into every single game. Then Joe makes a routine play seem like a Game 7 walk-off home run for absolutely no reason. I almost miss Gary and Vern at this point. Almost. And at the end of the day, the mental fortitude gained in a come-from-behind win is more crucial than a blowout. That's character building 101.
Mm-hmm.
Mental toughness is developed and pays off down the road. Facing tough times and adversity when you aren't playing your best is the greatest measurement of success in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama would have lost this type of game last year.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God Cocktober is over. That's my notes.
I love that. Hey, Lou, just can we do that? Like, no, and I'm dead serious. Like, it needs to be the Van note segment. Like, it needs to have its own little segment. But I make a motion that we have Van's notes as its own little term. But Lou, floor is yours, buddy.
Wow.
That's so
Columbia.
good.
You know, I think the thing that most annoyed me about this game is the fact that they felt like putting Teen Wolf's dad, Shane Beamer, on TV 3,000 times. I saw that dude make 9,000 different facial expressions throughout the game, and they're not even going to give Kalen DeBoer like 2 minutes of camera time. Now, I get that Shane Beamer is this eccentric character, and he's, oh my God, like every time play, but it's like, bro, like, what is going on with you? Like, you couldn't sit still for a single play. But y'all want my Columbia report? I'll give it to you. It's simple. We won. Now, I knew this was going to be a battle. Anybody that's ever been an athlete any time in your life, when you go through a whole month of solid, absolute, excruciating war, especially what we went through, you're going to have some setbacks. These guys are human. They're young. It's going to happen. And at the same time, it was perfectly scripted that we get probably the most singular athletic team in the SEC. When I say singular, I mean they have singular athletes that are just absolute freaks of freaking nature in certain positions that have an ability to take over a game. There's not many teams with players like this. And then you take a South Carolina team that has been beat by top 20 teams. They're not losing to freaking slouches here, ladies and gentlemen. They're losing to actual good SEC competition. So this is not a bad football team. Comp that with its homecoming, and they decided to bring Jadeveon Clowney and the ghost of South Carolina when they were good for once, and that whole 2010 squad. So the campus is buzzing. The energy's there. Obviously, the helium sucked out of anything Alabama. So you knew it was going to be a war. Anybody that thought this is honestly going to be a blowout, especially us being down Lottie Brooks and some other guys, it's not going to happen. This is the SEC. You don't get blown out in the SEC unless you're a Bayou Bengal. Ooh, that was a shot at Brian Kelly. My bad. I'll digress. Back to the Cox. They came in knowing that they had to do certain things to stop Alabama. And they did those things, so they thought. They ran the ball. Sellers gassed us. You know, that Nick Arbor kid, ran 40 yards down the field faster than everybody. He's a track star. It happens. He caught a pass. But they didn't beat us. We didn't lose the game. Let me ask you guys something. In history, does anybody ask about the battles George Washington almost won? I don't think so. In the great empire of Rome, do people question how it got there, or that the fact that it was established and it was there? Like, when people question athletes, do they question Michael Jordan off his bad decisions? No, they just remember his greatness. All this is going to be in the end of this season is a win. And that's all anyone should respect it. In Division I college football, you're going to have some lumps.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this conference, there's competition. You don't got a bakery set, Krispy Kreme, Dairy Queen, soft serve cone schedule that nobody wants to watch. No, you get a game in South Carolina and everyone around the world is tuning. You got dudes in Japan saying Roll Tide. It's funny, Everyone wants to talk about, we only beat this 3-4 team by, a touchdown. Alabama's this, Alabama's that. But why are you talking about us then? Why is the national narrative about Alabama? We don't talk about anybody. We don't care about anybody. But yet the national narrative keeps coming back to us. Why is that? We won the game. That's all that matters. The fact that we won the game offends people at a level that is just so exciting to me, because it's like they can't respect the fact that we went into a hostile environment where 98% of college football gets their shit kicked in because of the athletes they're going to have to go against. You get down in that stadium, most teams ain't coming back from that. A lot of teams ain't coming back from that. Actually, I don't know a team in college football that has the fortitude to come back in an environment like that on the road, playing shitty football like we were playing shitty football. Everybody wants to shine the fact that we almost lost, but we won. We got the W. The bottom line for me, we won. Going into a bye week, we won. We had no serious injuries, and we ended Cocktober and shut that balding Shane Beamer's ass the up. Roll daggum Tide.
Oh, daggum Tide. Van, loved your report. Lou. Yeah, man. Like, I think you nailed it. I think what the nation tuned in because they're like, here we go. Bama's going to finally break again. Here's this Florida State team. And you said it in your little report, Van, that last year's team would have lost that game. And Lou, you were saying it that the nation got put on notice. No, this is the old Alabama that gets down by 8. Everybody tunes in to cheer against them. It wasn't just their students that were cramming against. It was every fan in the country cramming against their TV to say, oh, yeah, here goes the Tide. And then Bama, that's Bama beating people joyless murder ball isn't what Bama does. Bama ripping people's hearts out is what Bama does. Winning when you don't think they can win. A.J. McCarron hitting T.J. Yeldon down the sideline. Jay Barker off his back foot to Sherman Williams against Ohio State. It's when you think it's over and Alabama steals it from you. And Terrence Cody blocks a kick and steals it from Tennessee's heart to win a game 12-9 that you were supposed to win by 17. Or you go to South Carolina and they cram the field and you're up by 8 with 2 minutes to go. And Bama doesn't just score a touchdown. Then they get the 2-point conversion they have to do. And then they do the Daniel Moore crap that Bama just does. They rip the ball out of a guy. And look, you made a great point. Carolina has ballers. Lenore Sellers is not a cat. He's a tiger. That dude, you just can't. He's that dude. You're not scared he's going to kick your butt, but you can beat him to death, and it's like beating Play-Doh. You just can't kill him. You punch him in the face, and you walk off, and you're like, oh, he's up again. Crap. And you punch him again, and then you kick him, and then your buddy punches him, and then you turn around, and he's up again. You're like, this guy you can't kill.
Well, Petty Keon Keeley killed him.
Well, he did finally. Yeah, Keon. But look,
Keon
but
Keely
to,
killed his
but to
ass.
Lenore's credit, that dude kept a very unmanned team in a football game, and they got some guys that can play. But at the end of the day, Bama won, like y'all said.
Listen, all it was is a former Bama freaking guy taking the Cam Newton plan and trying to beat Alabama again, and he freaking failed.
Mm-hmm.
And I still heard the fire chants.
Oh wow,
I loved
did
it
too.
I love every second of it.
Well, we got the W. We're headed into the bye week. What concerns do we have going into this week, Van? Do you have a list for this, or do you just is this something we got rattled off?
Well, look, I've been on this show a few months now, and anybody who's been consistently watching the program knows I think a little differently. I'm odd in how I view things. I've learned to accept it. Not saying I'm right, just have a different perspective. I think a thing I notice about bye weeks is how great programs that are run by great coaches handle them. I've watched teams come off some big wins this year, hit the bye week, and not return to form. And look, I know this is a Bama-based football show. We're all Bama fans. You're a double agent, but you're still a Bama fan.
Sure.
And Lou don't really like us to talk about other teams in comparison to Alabama because there is only one Bama, and we all recognize that. But in order to make my point, I have to do it anyways. Teams like Colorado coming off an upset of Iowa State, they hit the bye week, the coach is out fishing, they get 4 days off. The team is scattered about, and the following week, Utah beat the brakes off them. You understand me? Utah beat them to death. Did y'all watch that game?
I did.
Horrible.
I didn't pick them.
Penn State rolling off 3 straight wins, high expectations, ranked number 2 in the country, hit a bye, lost to UCLA, and hadn't won a game since, and the coach got shit canned. I'm not giving these examples to say these teams are the same as Alabama. They are not. They could never be Alabama. They're not as well coached, they aren't as talented, and they don't have our history. That being said, you cannot treat a bye week like an off week. They are not the same thing. Just because you're not playing a scheduled team does not mean you relax. Far from it. A bye week is important for working on what you aren't doing well and re-practicing what you already do well. It's important for learning new wrinkles, new schemes, tackling and not just arm tackling, defense looking at you. It's important for practice, not some half-assed walkthrough. Yeah, definitely. I want pads popping, tempers flaring, guys trying to prove they deserve what they've earned so far type of practice. That's what you want in a bye week. Good programs use this opportunity to improve. I believe this program is the best in the country. I believe DeBoer is the best coach in the country. So I think they will use this week wisely. But we are in gut check time. We just ran a gauntlet and came out the other side of it victorious and in great shape to make the college football playoff. But now is not the time to let up or relax. You have to push even harder now than before. Improve on the mental mistakes and errors and come out the other side of this with even more piss and vinegar than you had. That's a bye week to me. You can rest when you're dead. Opportunity's knocking right now, and the chance for greatness is within sight. So will you step up or will you fail? So these are the types of weeks that make good teams great, in my opinion. That's how I look at a bye week.
I look at a bye week about what am I going to cook and actually enjoy football without sweating it. Lou, what are your – but we're talking about the team here. Lou, let's give me some concerns going into the bye week for this Tide team. Your way.
Oh, gee. You really want me to go there? I'm just kidding.
How much time?
All right.
How much time you got?
How much time do we got? I mean, I did schedule a show for an extra hour, so allow me to dive in. Let's start with my concerns on the offensive line. We'll start there. I have serious concerns, and then I have non-serious concerns. Situational rotation can be hurtful. It can be helpful. And we've experienced both this season. I think that when we're coming out of certain situations in the game, for instance, directly, when we come out of halftime, we need to do a better job of being successful. That doesn't mean we have to score, but we have to move the damn football. So we're not backed up into our own, our own field area. We also need to probably limit rotations when it comes to actual important parts in the game. So I'll say 2-minute drill in the first half, and probably in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, just because those are when you're going to need your road dogs in that are actually going to execute. I also have a concern with the health status of a lot of different players. I'm going to start with Isaiah Horton. I would like to know what his status is, whether he's going to be hurt, what his status is. That's very important to our offense, because we saw how limited Ty was with not having Isaiah Horton and Latair Brooks. And Latair Brooks is another one of my concerns. What's his injury status? Jam Miller, what's his health status? So I want to get a lot of these guys healthy in this next week. I think that's something they need to be absolutely concentrated on. Probably, if utmost above anything, is getting these guys, Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, if anybody's slightly banged up on the offensive or defensive side of the football, they need to do what they need to do to get themselves right. I also have a concern that our linebackers. Now, everyone's going to give them their flowers because they made plays when the plays need to be made. But I look at the in-between, the intangibles, when the plays weren't being made, when we were just arm tackling people. We need to get off this non-wrapping up mentality. I don't like seeing, and this is just not our linebackers, our defensive linemen are losing players because they're not wrapping. They're just throwing the shoulder. They need to wrap. So we need to get back to technique on the defensive side of the football. That technique is absolutely a catalyst in being successful when you're doing something in a fast phase. Because if you practice something right, you're going to do it right. If you're forming bad habits in practice, which it's obvious a lot of these guys are, they're doing a lot of just doing stuff with their hands. Well, this is the SEC. They're not gonna go for that. You're not gonna arm tackle anybody in the SEC. So that's another one of my concerns. I'll say this for my last concern. These guys have shown something in the fact that being resilient and being able to perform under absolute duress and dire conditions is something they need to build on. The fact that this team hasn't quit this season says something to me. And I think they need to keep that energy up. And it's going to be interesting to see what team comes out of this bye week.
I think y'all both hit on excellent points that two things can be true at the same time, or two things need to be true at the same time. You definitely need to work on being aggressive. And I mean, in this world where half the defenses aren't, you get a leg up when your defense brings it. And Bama's got the damn dudes to bring it. They've been getting better. But on the flip side, there are guys that need to get healthy. You got to be kind of careful with who you do it. They're not hitting any of the damn starters. I'll be honest, half the offensive players are going to be dressed like that kid from Little Giants that blew the bubble out of his nose. He's going to come out with like their bed cushions wrapped around them and taped. And you're like, man, don't leave the apartment until Saturday. and just learn the playbook. But no, the defense definitely has to get more aggressive. But this is a perfect time for the bye week, to be honest. I think what Latoya said in the chat, Brooks has the flu. He gets a week to get over that, get some fluids back in him, get his legs back under him. I don't know what Horton's was. Horton got hurt during the game. What ended it? What knee? Huh? All right.
He got hit.
Oh, okay.
The one catch he did make when he got hit and he landed funny.
And man, Jam didn't have the pep in his step he did right when he came back. I'm not sure his jar wasn't still a little rattled. So this is perfect time to get guys healthy and then get ready for look. You got a team coming in LSU. They may be a little more pumped up under Frank Wilson, but that's still a broken team that Bama's about to pop that you're getting a week off for going into the home stretch. So my concerns are get healthy. Like Van said, if you can get that defense some work in, you pop some damn pads this week. But other than that, man, you get them healthy and get ready for this stretch run because this is a team that can make a run to the title. Guys, I don't know if it's I could try to keep telling myself, and I know this may be part of your evolution of the game. It's just part of the game, man. These kids are, I mean, there's no perfect football anymore. It's all so there's holes everywhere. But veterans are continuing to make mistakes, and we're seeing young guys make plays. I know Lou doesn't have it in here if he got some serious thoughts on it, but I like this. I kind of like this rotation tonight. I'm missing my man Dan. I know the ladies at the nursing home are not. I hope the tips are flying in, but I like this Van set up with this analytical from the other side and then the passion at the end. So, Van, start us off. With this veterans mistakes and is it time to see, we've kind of talked about this a little bit along the way, but
look, man, I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I'm kind of excited to hear what Lou's got to say because I know Lou's going to bring some heat on this one. Every single one of the guys I'm going to mention have made key plays at different times of the season, but by and large, I've seen Lawson and Sabb especially be non-factors or even hurt the team with their play this year. Lawson seems to pick the wrong hole to attack more times than not. No did he. He doesn't lay his hits in. He seems slow and out of place a lot. I've questioned his being the starter this far. Me questioning his being the starter this far into the year doesn't feel right. He should have been one of the stars of this defense coming back, I would have liked to see more depth used in his place to build a better inside backer situation because it's been our biggest consistent flaw on defense. Sabb, man, he's been another disappointment for me as a fan. Having a huge start last year, and he gets hurt. I thought, man, this guy's going to fire up, be maybe our brightest point on the defense this year as a playmaker. He's been anything but that. He's a non-factor against the pass or the run most of the time. When he gets sent on designed blitzes, I already know he will be late getting there or he'll attack too high and get shaken off. I just know the outcome before it even happens. James Smith has been making tons of mistakes. Aggressive penalties are okay by me. They're okay by me if you regularly play hard enough to match it. If you're an aggressive guy for all 4 quarters, you're going to make some mistakes, and I'm okay with that. I can live with that.
Dallas Turner.
Yeah, absolutely. But the play's got to match it. He hadn't been that unblockable playmaker that the talk out of practice earlier in the year said he would be. I feel that way about a couple of upperclassmen on the offensive line. Proctor looked more like he did at the end of last year against South Carolina than he did the last few games this year. There's a reason we seem to talk more and more about more freshmen and sophomores than we do juniors and seniors, and that pretty well across the board. There are exceptions, but I expected more out of these guys than I've been seeing. It's not too late to change that opinion. We've got plenty of upperclassmen that are playing well. But this should have been a cohesive unit with plenty of experience coming back, second year under this guy, really doing something on defense, really doing something on offense. And the upperclassmen have been more of a liability than they've helped at times. that's just my opinion on things. That's just how I looked at it. I want to see even more rotation with younger guys. They look hungrier. Luce said it all year. The young guys are hungry, and I agree with him. They want to get out there and play and show the shit. So that's what I want to. That's what I wanted to highlight, especially those three, man. And I'm going to pass it to Lou and let him go off.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't gonna go off. I was gonna keep this kind of even keel, but somebody just brought something to my attention that flat out pissed me off, Mr. Joe Klatt. So energy has just activated Lushan in a very bad way. So let's get into these veteran mistakes because there's a long list of them. I'm going to start on the defensive line side. James Smith jumping offsides like he's a freaking sophomore on a date with his first college chick and he busted prematurely is absolutely unacceptable. This dude should be playing at an all-American level, and he's not. The fact that Edric Hill has outplayed him most of the season that ain't it. So obviously that's already been adjusted and replaced. Moving on, Keon Sabb. I know I work with a Michigan guy on Saturday, and he is all about Keon Sabb being on his team, but Keon Sabb flat out pisses me off. This dude has, on countless numbers of times, not hit anybody, not ran to the football. The level of football he played at last season when he got hurt has not even been seen from a 3-mile distance, in my opinion. Keon Sabb, number 3, where you at? Where you're on the milk carton right now, too. And I don't really think we need to talk about Deontay Lawson. I think my fellow Sam brother Broly covered that on the bottom. So we'll go to the offensive side. Wilkin Formby. I feel like sometimes Wilkin Formby is that rich, spoiled kid that just made the all-star team when you were playing Pee Wee baseball just because his dad owned the pizza shop that everybody went to in town, because I don't understand why this kid's playing over Michael Carroll. Flat the F out. This dude gets beat worse than a 12-year-old's meat, like right before he goes to freaking homecoming dance. It is absolutely insane just to watch players just run around this guy. It's like he's on a merry-go-round and he's just turning around like this. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And Damani Jackson. Let's talk about Damani Jackson. How do you go from being a top 10 corner, returning, to running out of bounds, being completely out of position, to having a true freshman double your snaps? I mean, his freaking fall from power should be studied in science. And at the same time, I mean, shoot, who else do we want to put on? Okay, let's hit this. Gino Vandermark. You fall on your knees more than a seventh grader at Catholic Mass on a Wednesday. You are just absolutely constantly on your knees in film. That's probably why my boy Willie Sanders overstepped you. The fact that our coaches can realize that these veterans are not playing good football is absolutely amazing, because I feel like some of our old staff would have kept playing these bad seniors and not replace them with freshmen. So let's talk about the replacements. For Keon Sabb, I'd like to either see Xavier Mincy or Dre Kirkpatrick, because those two actually hit in the running game. Those two are actually aggressive, and I think those two have better ball skills. I also would go to say that if we're talking about Wilkin Formby, you already know Michael Carroll should start. He should never come off the field. Did you notice in the second half that Michael Carroll came in and all of a sudden, okay, there was one penalty that he had, but after he freaking freaking that Dylan, I mean, you really didn't hear from him after that. You know why? Because sometimes you got to break a jaw to serve a point. Because, okay, Dylan Stewart knows, okay, I can rush against Wilkin Formby and get around him and kick his ass. If I get around Michael Carroll's going to f my ass up. And that's exactly what happened. So he wasn't too kind to keep coming off that way. And that's something that should be a statement to people. Damani Jackson. You know what I'm saying? You already saw Dijon Lee make plays all season. That kid is absolutely elite. And if we're talking about the offensive side of the football, let's talk about running backs. Let's talk about Jam Miller. Let's talk about Daniel Hill. Let's talk about Kevin Riley. You know, we have probably the youngest running back room in the nation. Yeah, Jam's a senior, but everybody else who we're using is either a redshirt freshman or a sophomore. Jam's been hurt. He's been banged up. So who stepped up? A sophomore or a redshirt freshman. Replaced them nicely. On Saturday, you saw some receivers step up. When we were down, Latier Brooks, Isaiah Horton, you know. When Ryan Williams wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing in the earlier part of the season, you saw a freshman step up, Latier Brooks. So I think these replacements are not only making noise, and I forgot one guy, London Simmons. I don't even consider him a replacement. I consider him a starter because when that dude gets in the game, he is absolutely getting held by two people, getting pushed and pulled, and he's still making plays. As a true freshman, who, by the way, came in the summertime, so he didn't really learn much from Freddie Roach, and it's shown in the game because he's performing. It's Tim Keenan and then London Simmons. He's a freshman, y'all. The fact that these freshmen, yeah, we got a couple 5 stars doing their thing, but we also got 3 stars that are making plays, that are doing stuff for Alabama. So in my opinion, these veterans keep messing up. Play the young guys because you know they're hungry. You know they're going to chase it. These older guys, they're set in their ways. Age makes you lazy. Youth makes you hungry.
More than anything, this youth makes you excited for the future and what Courtney Morgan, DeBoer, and this staff is building. It's impressive, the culture change and how quickly they've done it. From, like you said, maybe the theme of the show is, man, you want to take anything away from Saturday night in Columbia, take away that this team a year ago doesn't win that ball game on the road in a hostile environment, down 8 with minutes to go. This team's got a little something. You know what else got a little something? Our chat. Wow, I got crazy there for a second. Our chat has some questions for us, I believe, Lou. They have been hopping tonight. Our chat's really good. Van's bringing up.
Yeah, shout out to our chat is amazing. Y'all keep it live. I know, like, you see me kind of zoned off. It's because I'm reading your guys' comments. Y'all keep us live and oriented. So we're going to answer y'all's questions. Patty, here we go.
I've got, and before, for anybody in the northern Alabama, maybe 40 minutes north of Birmingham, my man Van mentioned something about tortas. You also know that sections of North Alabama also look a lot like Mexico, which means there's some authentic Mexican restaurants. You go to La Marenta there in Aniana, Alabama, and get you a torta, and it'll change your life. Hit them questions up, Lou. Bam Dam Sports. Lucian, why did the Chickens let us score at the end with our kicking issues? I know Van touched on this, but no, I'm glad he said Lucian. What is your take on this, Lou?
Because they wouldn't have had a chance to score. That's common sense. In that situation, if I'm a defender, I'm letting them score. Because I know the offense that we have, we're going to have a chance to score regardless, because if you push him out of bounds, he's not missing a kick from the freaking 11.
No, because you're what, a 28 yarder at that point.
That's an extra point, brother. You're not missing an extra point. So everyone's like, oh, you should have hit him. Like, then you don't know football and you just suck as an athlete. Because if you're a competitor, you're giving your offense a chance. So, yeah, go score, kick your field goal, and let my offense go win this football game.
There you go. Bam Dam Sports, for our run game, is it our O-line or Grubb setting up the next plays by setup he sees on defense used for that run set? Let's tackle this.
It's a good question. I think it could be a little bit of both. I mean, he's going to base things off of what he sees, but for sure he's setting up plays, and them plays don't always work, but the way he drawn them up, if everybody does the job, they're going to work with their talent. So, I mean, yeah, I think our O-line's a big problem, though, absolutely. But on the flip side of that, you can go back and watch the replays. There are holes at times, and our backs are not doing their jobs either at certain points. Okay, there's blame to go around, boys. They really are. Hit it, Lou.
Okay. Yes and no. The setup is when you're running an offense, it's a 4-quarter game. And a lot of defenses come back to what you did on the earlier downs in the game. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know this, every team is allowed to have tablets on the side of their sidelines. So they're able to literally go back in true time and see what you did in the first part of the game. So Grubb, is he setting a defense up? Yes. I also think he's creating a narrative that also might not be there on purpose to serve a larger role. But yes and no.
I think these new age. I mentioned this. Something I mentioned earlier, like the Grubbs of the world. Yeah, they're playing chess, man. And then if you ever played chess, you're not playing your move. You're playing 4 moves ahead,
right? Or 6.
Yeah.
He ain't playing. He ain't playing chess. He's playing the Chinese game called Go.
Nice. All right. We got another one, Lou. Joe. Oh. Did you fly by Joe, or was that one you were like, F that one?
No, is it not showing?
No, well, Joe's came up, then Bam Dams.
No, Bam Dams, and then Joe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Could it be our pass blocking was so bad last season they had pushed this O-line to pass block more than run blocking?
Nah.
Nope. That's literally putting our offensive minds in a box, and you can't put these two offensive minds in boxes. It's elite. It's not something you can put in a box. Last season has absolutely nothing to do with this season, in my opinion.
Yeah. Other than the team has a completely different mentality and mindset. Joe Edwards, do we need another offensive line coach to get the job done? I don't think so, but
no.
Van Saken has said no.
No. I think we need more guys that they want to recruit versus what we already had here. And then you sprinkle in some of our guys that we brought in, and they've looked better at times than the guys that were already here. I want to keep letting DeBoer and this guy work together and figure out what they want.
Dewberry and Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
Dewberry and Carroll. Jackson Lloyd. Micah DeBoer. Mal Waldrop. Like, do you guys not remember we were just recruited literally a 5-man offensive line
and they're
in last year's freshman class.
He's 3 years removed from winning the Joe Moore Award. He's good. I think Cap's a good coach. I think, again, there's a lot of reshuffling. Van, you nailed it too. It's Lou, from you're bringing in 5 guys to you're gotten to change the way it had been done.
Like, and the other thing about it is too, like, no, he doesn't. We don't need another offensive line coach. I think everybody forgets what this was based off of. everybody forgets those two words, and I ain't talking about roll tide. I'm talking about those three intimate words that Saban always said. Trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the process.
Man, for a sec, never mind. Thought you might have gone 8 seconds, Lane Frost, or a little tough Hideman. You're a puss.
No, it's simple. Just trust the process.
Joe Edwards, is our guys too weak to open up holes for our running backs? I thought I think they may be missing some holes
at times. I'm just Lou's biting his lip. Lou, get it.
I mean, every day everybody misses opportunities to be successful. Obviously, they're missing open holes. That's yeah, they're missing open holes. But yeah, I don't think anybody on our team is weak at all.
Mm-mm.
And in that standpoint, Van, you got anything on that question?
I agree with you as far as the strength. They've got the strength. I do question the push at times off the line, but that's a technique thing. That's not a I'm not strong enough thing. That's not, that's not getting behind what the coach is teaching you, the fundamentals. I mean, that's just the facts, and those kind of guys are going to phase out as they bring their own guys in that are willing to be taught and do their job.
All right.
Sorry, I threw one more in there. I thought was pretty. Bam Dam Sports Van, with all these great schools letting their head coach go, and they can hit the portal right now. Should Bama go pick some great talent from them in week 10? You can't get them now, but you're pre-portaling like a son of a gun. Absolutely, you're pre-portaling.
You touch base with things, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you're pre-portaling.
But you got to be careful what you bring in because you can ruin the cohesion of what you built.
No. You're doing it carefully, but you're pre-portaling or you're not playing the game.
Dude, I've seen transfers tear things down in a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
Watch this play out. I would rather trust what DeBoer's doing in the recruiting world right now because we are putting together some monster recruits, dude. Like fucking stupid amount of recruits. And DeBoer can't recruit in the South. Well, you're a dumbass if you think that because he's tearing the South up right now. It's like Sherman's march through Atlanta, what he's doing right now, because he is tearing it up, man. And you don't want to live and die.
You do your due diligence, and if there's something you can plug a hole with, and you got to make sure they jihad with but you do your due diligence. Trust me, they've got.
Yeah, I'm not saying have Dabo Sweeney's approach. Absolutely not. But at the same time, if you see you want to bolster in some guys and bring in some more experienced guys to help teach the new guys that are coming in, that's great. But you're not building your team off this shit.
No, that's not how Bama. That's not how they've done it yet. I don't expect them to.
To create a little volition from what Petty was saying, I think they may be focused on maybe one or two positions, but you think
these staffs, and man, we're not in 10 people staffs anymore. There's like 50 people in the staffs. You got one guy that's checking the books like, hey, we might need a right guard. It's been a revolving door. But like you said, the recruiting, like someone said that you cherry pick, because I agree with y'all also. The way Bama's recruited and DeBoer's proved he's not a portal heavy leaning coach.
You have to be careful though, because you can run recruits off before they sign if you make weird moves.
And honestly, I don't see us making moves in the portal. I see us making roster moves. I'll explain what I mean in a couple of weeks, what I mean by roster moves.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go ahead and go into the next question.
Do we have a third?
I mean, hopefully it's Sidney Sweeney.
Yeah. Ooh. Are we talking about maybe being Triple Agent? Lance got here late. Already taught Lane to LSU. I'll let Lou answer that instead of me being the double agent.
Lou's not going there. Lou does not feel that Lane Kiffin is going to LSU. I think that Lane Kiffin hates LSU almost as much as he hates Hugh Freeze and Auburn. So unless they offer him like $18 million to coach at LSU, I don't think Lane leaves Ole Miss, folks. I had some phone conversations with some people that are going to be named later in my book, but today is a day that I got enlightened and changed a lot of my opinions. On Monday, this morning, I woke up, I thought Lane Kiffin would go to LSU. And then I had an interesting couple phone conversations that changed my mind absolutely and intimately, completely. And I think Lane Kiffin is going to stay at Ole Miss.
Let's play devil's advocate real fast and say LSU offers him a stupendous amount of money.
$18 million?
It won't be about money. I will say that. I'll stand 1,000,000,000% this won't be about money. It'll be about one thing and one thing only. That's if he can win a title at his next stop quicker than he can.
There's an old country song.
I don't think that at all.
There's only three things in life that men care about: faster horses.
Well, I can say on
more money.
Well, and I can say on good authority, Ole Miss is already putting together a contract to make him one of the top 3 paid coaches in college football. Whatever that is, they'll match unless it becomes Texas type money. Then it may get weird. But he's already rich. He wants one thing. He wants what Saban has. He wants what Kirby has. He wants a title. And if he thinks he can win a title quicker at Florida or LSU, that would be the reason. And I'm not sold.
Petty, I think you're wrong. I think you're dead wrong.
On what?
You know what Lane wants? Lane wants what Saban had. He wants to do it Lane's way. If he goes to LSU, it's not going to be Lane's way. The only place that he's going to get it Lane's way is at Ole Miss.
And I don't think people – all right, I hate doing this on a Bama podcast. I'm sorry, guys. But you brought up Lane, and it is funny.
I did it on purpose.
But
I did it on purpose.
I know, but you're so right.
Double
People
agent.
don't take into account, okay, Louisiana's governor just got involved with their coaching search. They don't have a president. Their AD just got his legs cut off because he made the 2 most horrible contracts in college football history. He was at A&M with Jimbo, the 2 highest buyouts. Florida, their AD isn't making this hire in Scott Strickland, and they don't have a president. Ole Miss literally has a president and a AD that are in lockstep and doing whatever you want. The ball's yours. We'll name the field Lane Kiffin Field, the dogs, whatever. People are like, well, he likes flying to Boca. In Gainesville, it's closer. You know how much closer it is by plane from Oxford to Boca to Gainesville? It's like 40 minutes. He's got a private jet 5 minutes from his house that Ole Miss is giving him. I don't think people like Lou. I think you're, it's like, you're right, Lou. I don't think people aren't, they're living in a time machine that if you think Florida's a better job, you're not looking at the athletic department. I do think the Venn diagram was big when Lane got to Ole Miss of the schools he would take, and he would have taken Florida or whatever. Now it's Alabama, and I'm not sure that's ever realistic because of the booster situation. I kind of thought LSU until this week. I'm with Lou. Look, Texas, when Texas calls, I don't understand it because they don't win. I don't know if it's the oil money, some weird allure, but look, Tyler Siskey, a friend of the program, has said on Tuesday he was telling his wife in Tuscaloosa, you better get ready to go to Austin, and crap changed by Friday. So when Texas calls, things get weird. We're hearing Sarkisian may end up in the pros. Things are getting funny out in Austin. Who knows? But I'm with you, Lou, man. Just to play the whole devil's advocate, it's not – I think Lane wants to do what Lane wants to do.
Wait, time out. Did you say Siskey's getting hired by Texas?
No, when they were at Alabama.
Oh, I was gonna be like, shit. He better.
Now I was gonna say there's one school that when they call, you pick up the phone and listen, and it's Texas because you're
me, and
unless
the hell with Texas.
Well, Well, I'm just saying it. You can make the face, but Nick Saban picked up the phone while he was at Alabama, and that's what Siski was saying. That's all I'm saying. If Texas comes open, things may get funny. But I'm with you. Even there, Saban put the kibosh on it because you can beat like Saban had. Like you can't. Texas is still Bama pre-Saban, where there's too many people on the porch trying to have their way, and I think it all boils down to what your point, Lou. He wants to run it his way, and there's
he
only
wants
one
to be. He wants to be Nick Saban. You're not going to be Nick Saban at Alabama. You're not going to be Nick Saban at Texas.
You're the next guy.
You're going to be Nick Saban.
Ole Miss is the place to
fucking Miss.
Yep. Well, you're not going to be it at Florida because you're behind Urban and Steve. You're not going to be it. You're behind Saban again at LSU, and then the grass eater and the caveman who's got titles. So you got to win one. Yeah, great, Lou. We way too far on that.
That question that was a deep end. So let's get it. Yeah.
Fuck them. I'm with it. Joe Edwards, what's up with R. Williams missing these balls thrown to him? Well, he had look, we were all on his. He didn't miss any the game before. He missed one the other night. I mean, you're gonna drop passes. He is what he is. He's a big play receiver that's gonna drop a pass from time to time.
AJ McCarron stated and quoted, Julio Jones dropped the most passes I've ever seen of anybody in a freshman and sophomore year.
There you go. You're going to drop he's dropped one in 2 weeks. I'm okay. I mean, I can take that stat.
Oh, here we go. And I love this question too.
Did Joe Edwards, did D Jackson play against South Carolina?
Yeah, he had some penalties.
Yeah. I think he was in for 20 some odd snaps, and
he had some penalties.
Yeah.
Man, is anybody's stock falling as fast as last year he was kind of one of the saving graces in the season. All right, Lou. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
Can't do it.
All right. Lance said I think about 20 plays. Lance, by the way, that was all your fault. We went off on that rabbit hole. Blame you.
It's definitely, yeah. So we'll get into some more. Here we go.
All right. Bam Dam Sports. Will Grubb take any of these big job openings next year? Before I'm going to let y'all take it. But right now, I'm a big fan of looking at Vegas. I got shot down by Bo Scarborough on another show when we were on a big show talking about Bama hiring. And I was looking at Vegas. And in a 3-day period, DeBoer had gone from 10 to 5 to 3. And I mentioned it on the show, and no, man, we're not getting a guy from the north. I'm like, well, you say that, but Vegas is, and that's when he was thinking to Miko. I'm like, you're not getting a standing NFL coach on his way to the playoffs, even if it's Mama calling. That's just a whole different deal. But Vegas is telling me this, and that's a long way to say. I see names right now, and if you look at Florida, I think Drinkowitz is the highest numbers. If you look at LSU, I think Summerall at Vegas. I don't see Grubb's name on any of these coaching lists as of yet.
Drinkowitz better keep his ass at Missouri.
Oh, that'd be dumb.
He's built a scrappy team.
Yeah,
and he's not dealing with a lot of competition.
It's the same thing as Lane Kiffin, and they have a better NIL than Florida. Look up,
he's a good coach, but Florida needs more than just good coaching.
Yeah.
So to answer this specific question, no. Grubb left and seen what the life without Kalen DeBoer was. When he and Kalen DeBoer together, greatness happens.
I don't think it'll happen this year.
I don't either.
It's not going to happen ever.
Never say never. Somebody throws enough money at him, he will go.
No, it happened, man. It happened last year, and it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, he got fired. I understand that. But if a school calls and says, we're going to pay you $12 million a year to come be a head coach, you think he's not going to consider it?
I don't think so. Because
first of all, we already know the greatest retirement package in the history of this country is being the head coach of Auburn. You're going to get fired in 3 to 4 years. You're going to get a buyout, and then you can go to the lake. All right.
Oh, no, LSU's paying $58 million out the door, brother.
Well, that just depends on if Woodard is the AD.
You need to find a good, gullible, dumb AD.
Scott Woodard, and they did. It's Woodard, and I'm starting to think he's in. If he's colluding with the damn agents around there on the take, because he's allowed 2 of the bigger buyouts we've ever seen.
What do y'all think about the Krispy Kreme package? Keep it, or is it getting too cute? Wait, it's run its.
No. What needs to happen is what's called put the book on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Put the book on the shelf. Let it collect some dust. Let it collect a lot of dust. Because then the next time you put Caden Proctor in the backfield, everybody's selling out to stop Caden Proctor in the backfield. And then Ryan Grubb goes into his bag of tricks and says, "Hey, silly rabbit, that's a play action."
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Putting it on the shelf does not mean putting it in the garbage. It is two different things.
It's not tricking anybody anymore.
I've hinted, no, but I've hinted off a lot of things tonight, and I'm going to say this. There's a plan in everything, and I love it when a plan comes together. And I fully really think that our coaches may have taken that to a level that a whole lot of people aren't going to understand for at least a decade and a half. Because this game, it's getting complicated. Yeah, you got to pay attention to what you're really seeing. You when you're looking at Alabama football these days, don't look at the game. Look at what's happening during the game. Watch the plays, but watch what's happening during those plays.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to figure it out. Petty, take us out.
Let's go. Guys, it has been a fantastic evening, mainly because we have a fantastic audience that has been on fire tonight, bringing the heat. We love you guys. We appreciate you, even though we, like I said, some Avengers have been on call tonight, but we still feel like we brought it to you, hopefully. But do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you're with us for all the content. I'm going to go around and let the guys tell you how to follow and give the socials. I'm going to start with Van and let Lou follow it up since he's got all the stuff going on Saturday hooked up. Van, where can we find you when you're not here?
You can't. And I'm just going to be honest about that. I'm a ghost in today's technological society. I want to take this time to thank our subscribers because they pushed us over that 500 mark. At last count, we're at 514. And that's a big deal to all of us. Y'all come here every Tuesday. A lot of y'all still come here for the after game shows, for the Saturday morning AM scrambles, and support us, man. And it means the world to every single one of us. Y'all don't have to be here, but you spend your time with us. You're in the chat asking good questions, making good jokes. We got the best chat in YouTube, and it's by far makes this more fun for us. So I want to sit here and say thank you to every single one of y'all for subscribing, for hitting like, for commenting on the videos. In fact, it helps us out. If you will comment, even though y'all watched it, y'all been firing up this chat room. After the show, just give a little comment. Hey, I like this. Hey, I didn't like this. Hey, Van, your hat's ugly. Don't make a shit. Give us a comment. Let us know what's up, what you like, what you don't. We improve that way.
Leave my forehead out of it. I don't care what Van says. Leave my daggone forehead out of it. Lou, hit us up, my man.
I don't care. I got a big ass head. I'm a big ass dude. 265 pounds. I got a big ass head. But you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Lucian Graves. You can find me on Twitter. Hold on, I'll roll it. The bottom of the screen. It's 456 the final whistle, or at 4RowLush1 on X. On Tuesday nights, you can find me here on the final whistle, mixing it up with whatever Avengers are available and aren't on duty at other places. Saturday, you can maybe find me on the AM Scramble. I have not decided up on the bye week. I'm going to go take in my hunting casuals and go produce some meat for the family. But that's still up in the air. There will be no post-game show because we don't have a game this week. We're on bye. So I would probably say for sure you can find me next Tuesday on the final whistle during Tiger Hate Week, the first Tiger Hate Week, because I hate tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as much as I hate the color orange. Fucking hate the color orange. But I hate
I will
Tigers
second both of these. Fuck them.
almost that much more. We've had a great show. Our fans, we're here for you guys. You guys make us relevant. You guys make me want to freaking put together these rants of absolute aggression. And this team is restoring my faith in young men loving the game of football. And I want everyone to take account into what I just said. If a team loves the game, then this is more than a game. And the Crimson Tide on my chest right now, the Brotherhood, the B-Side Phi, if it's rolling high, we rolling tide. We win the championships. And that's what we're here to do. So, Petty, my man Van Broly, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Let's take our good folks out with the two most holiest words in our fan base.
Roll Tide.
Roll
Roll
damn
Tide.
Tide.